Are you going to make me cry tonight?
That's my goal every night.
Okay, continue. I got my hanky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to lay shit on me, and I'll react. This is Mona Lisa Baseball.
Talking about the ABS system today. Automatic balls and strike system. Are you ready?
I'm not going to make the game a farce.
We're not going to turn the game into a farce.
We're not going to make it a farce.
Well, they've been testing this in the Atlantic League for years now, since 2020. And
what the hell is the Atlantic League? Let's get that out there. What is it?
Great question.
Who's playing in it? Is it like single A, double A, triple A, none of the above?
The Atlantic League of Professional Baseball is a professional independent baseball league.
Professional.
It is an official MLB partner league based in the mid-Atlantic and southeastern United States.
So it's affiliated with MLB, but there's no affiliation with teams.
Right. When Atlantic League professionals are signed by MLB clubs, they usually start in their AA or AAA affiliate.
So this is a test league.
Well, it's a league that was founded in the late 90s. And it's funny.
90s.
You asked me about it. I don't know that much about it. I just know that they play baseball. They play hardball.
Yeah, well, hold.
They play hardball.
They play hardball.
Yeah. American hardball.
Man, it's funny talking about minor leagues because I'm so curious how they're doing. And not just necessarily in the numbers, but...
Well, most of them are outdrawing the A's.
Like a small farming town in Iowa outdraws the A's.
Yeah.
More people in overalls than attending A's games.
I think there were more possums in the park than people the other day.
Has it gotten any better since we've talked last?
Well, one of the cool things that's happening in the Coliseum these days is protest signs. So there'll be one guy in the outfield and maybe his girlfriend, and they'll unroll this big old sign like, don't hate the fans, sell the team, all that stuff. I love it. It's great.
It is great.
Did you see that split?
Two different videos of how MLB had doctored the signs out of the Sports Center highlights.
They cropped out
Dirty.
a home run shot so you couldn't see this guy's sell the team sign. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we were talking about ABS and we got sidetracked. Like, what is the Atlantic League? Okay.
Yeah.
I always say they're testing this in the Atlantic League, and almost everything they end up testing comes to fruition in MLB. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about ABS, and Rob Manfred has come out and said it will happen in 2024. He said that. So
yeah.
So what is it? What the fuck is this ABS shit? And people want to know. Like, everyone's always asking me, well, like, I hear about it. I see it on the TV. Is that the box? Is it 2D? Is it 3D? How does it work? Everyone wants to know, They gave up TrackMan. This is actually something called Hawkeye. That's what they're testing. That's the brand name.
Okay.
So this is the system that we're going to probably see next year. I mean, I can't say it with absolute certainty, but I mean, Rob...
Seems like it.
Rob says it's coming.
Mr. Rob.
And
lawyer.
You know how we were joking about how you could do a highlight reel of Michael Jordan committing errors and make him look like he's the worst baseball player ever?
Definitely.
I'm sorry, the worst. Well, he did play baseball.
Yeah.
The worst basketball player ever.
Oh, that might be even better. Think about this. You do all his hits and RBIs and diving catches, and then
contrast that with him like missing free throws. Oh.
I think he was actually a better baseball player.
Should have played baseball.
Wait till you see his bowling highlights.
Yeah, guy kills it at lawn darts.
Okay, yes, Rob. Back to Rob.
Dude, he said 2024, man. That's next year. Like, this is one of the things about this show. Like, we started it going like, can you believe these rule changes? And like, reality is actually way crazier than any kind of fantasy you and I could have thought of 2 years ago.
I know.
So this system, it's called Hawkeye. I talked about putting together a highlight reel of Michael Jordan to make him look good or bad at a sport he was good or not bad at. You can put together a reel of this Hawkeye fucking up. You can watch 10 minutes of this thing just like making crazy calls. Like, I cannot believe the robot just said that was a strike. And some of them are even bouncing off the ground. But here's the thing, dude. Here's the rub. It's way more accurate than humans.
Yeah, sure.
It's way more accurate than the human umpire.
With all the numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me more about Hawkeye. Is it Terminator vision? How does it coincide with umpires on the field?
Right. Yeah.
And how does that work?
The umpire hears a robot in their ear telling them ball or strike. and then they say it out loud so that everyone else knows. But
Oh
that data,
my God.
I know.
How degrading.
I know.
How fucking degrading.
Well, I mean, we've already talked about the role of the umpires. He still gets to call you safe at home if you slide head first. I mean, that's pretty cool, I guess.
Sort of.
Why is he even back there?
Let's go to the replay.
Why does he have to be behind the plate now? Like, that's a dangerous place to stand.
It's a great question.
You know why? The computer can break. So he's like the backup. Yeah.
Ooh, this is heavy.
Well, I mean, think of all the things that can break. The thing can fall out of his ear. A bunch of things can happen. So you're concerned about that. I mean, this removes humanity from the game. You can't really argue balls and strikes with the umpire anymore. He's just going to point at his earbud. Who you're fighting with, me or the Hawkeye, right? So to appease you, they're testing some new rules, bro, to put humanity into the automatic balls and strike system.
Okay.
It's called the ABS challenge. You get 3 of them.
Oh my God.
It can only be called by the pitcher,
What a pathetic state of affairs.
the catcher, or the batter. And they can say, I think that was a ball. I think that was a strike. Let's review it. That's where we're at. ABS challenge. They're testing this. I knew this would blow your mind.
So, yeah, do you get challenges per at bat or per game?
3 per game. If you're right, you get to retain it. If you're wrong, you lose 1.
Okay.
Hallelujah. Doesn't that sound fun? Humanity
Yeah.
back in the sport. We're going to send it to New York, you guys. Let's have another commercial brought to you by Subway. Eat fresh. Speechless. You're fucking speechless.
Well, of course I'm speechless. I'm just trying to weigh out, 150 years of baseball and then this.
The ABS challenge brought
Does
to you.
anyone want to watch this?
It's just another commercial break, dude.
What is fun about that?
Well, there's no more Angel Hernandez making bad calls anymore. It's the robot.
Yeah, it just can't be as fun.
I don't know, man. Look,
Accuracy.
it's not going to be as fun for you because you want the humanity.
Well, not for me, yeah.
They've already stripped enough humanity out of it. You're done. You're like, no more. This is the line I've drawn this far, no further.
It's pretty crazy.
Right.
The thing that I'm wondering at this point is who else out there feels similar to me, and is it more pain or more indifference? Because the thing is right now, I've never been reading more about baseball, but I'm mostly going to older books, and I'm deeply, passionately in love with the sport right now. It is as good as it gets. I'm reading The Summer Game, the New Yorker writer, and in the early 60s, this guy was about my age, and he was a baseball lover. And so he would write maybe 1 or 2 articles a year about baseball. He'd always do one in October after the World Series, sum things up for you. And maybe if something interesting was going on, he might throw an article in June. I get to be a part of the 60s and 70s baseball scene. I mean, the book starts in 1962, first year of the Mets. So he's talking about what it feels like going to the Polo Grounds again. Back when the Giants used to play, he saw games at the Polo Grounds for years.
Okay.
Well, now he's going back there, and the Mets are the worst team that anyone's ever seen, but they're drawing crazy numbers, and no one can quite understand it. And then a few years later, he goes to the first indoor game. He goes to watch a game at the Astrodome, and he's going, it's cool, I guess. Well, the title was Cool Bubble, which I thought was pretty sweet. But he's talking about how everything's air conditioning, how it's carpet, and how basically you don't...
So sterile.
The ownership didn't even really need baseball fans. It's just attracting people to like a larger living room and being able to watch a game. And it's the first $1 million Jumbotron or whatever the fuck.
Bro, they had malts back then.
They probably did have malts. I'm getting this little flavor of what baseball means to me, meant to me, thought it should mean forever. And I'm just entranced at how marvelous the game is. Meanwhile, I've never heard more bullshit come out of the League of Baseball. And I'm really, really curious where you're at now, because
it's like I'm watching Mad Max and then the movie becomes real. I really feel that way about what's happening with baseball.
Yeah.
I'm looking right across my room. I got my old mitt sitting there. I got a puzzle of when they first built Pac Bell.
Nice.
It's so fucked up, dude. They're going to do ABS next year. It's happening. I'm trying to explain to you like how it's going to work, and this is the train wreck. I'm rubbernecking. This is where I'm at.
But for those people such as myself that heard season 2, you were pretty interested in kind of this hybrid version of umpiring.
Well, not this version.
I mean, now that you've heard this, what are you thinking?
Okay. What do I think about Hawkeye?
Because my heart's broken. I'm very curious.
I have big issues with Hawkeye. I know how the software. I've read the white paper about how it works, and I don't think it's.
This is good.
I don't like it at all. It doesn't account enough for how tall the guy is hitting.
Is that real?
They're supposed to have a strike zone that is built off the batter. Think like Wade Boggs' stance versus Craig Counsell's stance, right? But they don't always have that data on a specific batter, so then they'll just do it by how tall he is. And so that doesn't account for his stance. That doesn't account for other people who want to change their stance. It's
What?
Yeah.
What?
The box is real now.
It's invisible goalposts.
Exactly.
We've got invisible goalposts that the computer can see that we can't.
Well, it's visible to everyone watching on TV. You can see it. It's a fucking box.
Well, the television viewers can see it.
Yeah, but now that's real. It's going to be real. I just wish that they worked a little harder on this. The problem with the height problem, it's a really hard problem to solve. So I'll give them that. But this idea that we're just going to make everything uniform, like, you know, pitchers don't have to hit. The strike zone is exactly in the same place no matter where you are. You would say that's removing humanity from the game, and I would say that's removing the variation that makes it interesting.
Right. Maybe I'll get to a point where I'll read you quotes, but one of the reasons why the Polo Grounds was so spectacular to play baseball games is it had the shortest left and right field lines in the game and the longest center field.
Right.
So it's basically like a horse track.
Yeah.
And he's describing what it feels like to watch a lazy fly ball hit the second deck because I think it was maybe about 270 or 280 down the lines. But let's go right to plastic surgery and you make every woman exactly the same. What's that going to do to humanity? And make her as fine or whatever adjective you want to use. What would that do to humanity if every woman looked the same and all the men stay the same, but the women, it's just one prototype? What would be fun about chasing girls or anything like that? All of it would go away instantaneously. Well, maybe it would be fun for 4 days. You're like, oh, wow, these beautiful women and they all like me or something. It's hard to really know, but pretty quickly there would be no fun in it. This might be a poor analogy, but let's take a prototype woman. Let's go really, really classic. So
Sure.
let's go Marilyn Monroe.
Classic.
Every single woman on the planet is Marilyn Monroe.
Okay.
All right, day one, pretty wild, right? Some dress conservative, some are flaunting it. It's pretty wild. Wow,
Right.
can you believe this?
She dyed her hair.
By end of month 1, you'd do anything to get variation back. Anything.
I think that if all women looked exactly the same, that would be the best thing that happened to humanity ever, because all men would just stop worrying about getting the kitty and then they'd just like go back to work. Like, I think productivity would go up big time. I think that'd be great. I think this is the best idea you've ever had. Just make all women exactly the same so you don't have to compete. It's all the same. It doesn't matter. Boom. I love it.
You love it. What fun is that?
This is a show about baseball.
You take something that has nothing to do with baseball and you take the variation out, and then you think about what that would do short term and long term, and you could try to connect some dots with baseball. I think it's a disaster. Take variation out of baseball. It's a disaster. When A4 started to talk about uniform field lengths, like, I wanted to jump out my window. It's like, I can't do this. This is too gnarly.
Did I tell you Fenway had to change their infield grass because it wasn't conforming to this new, like, shift ban rule shit?
No, you told me that they wouldn't release what field, and we were assuming Fenway.
Oh, yeah. They were coy about it. They're like, well, a couple of fields are not conforming to this. No, they're all conformed now. It's all the same.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yep.
I'm definitely getting some 1984 vibes. That is not talking about the baseball season.
This ABS thing it's happening, you guys. This is happening. People want to know what the fuck this shit is. It's Hawkeye.
I'm kind of expecting that if they're going to go to this extreme, it will be technology that is fucking squeaky clean, spotless.
It's software. It's a company. It's a private company, you know?
It's just one more reason to just blow the whole thing up. I
Blow
mean,
it up.
holy smokes.
All right, riddle me this, Batman.
All right.
What happens when Randy Johnson hits another pigeon? What's Hawkeye going to call it? Is it a ball or strike?
Yeah, so does Hawkeye, is it like the moment of decision when it's like hovering at the threshold of the box?
No, it can't make the call until it passes through the plate area where they have all the sensors.
It's not predictive. Where Randy Johnson throws the ball, they wouldn't have called it a strike because they knew it would be a strike. Like, they have to actually wait till it gets to the plate. They meaning Hawkeye.
But what do you do? Again, if there's no human like resetting the computer, like how does it call it? Does it find one of these feathers? It'll call it a ball. That's my point. It would be a ball.
They'll call it a ball, yeah.
It would be a ball. But everyone knows that this should be pitched again.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's what happened in the game.
Pitch again. That's not a ball.
Right. That's a good question. But then you take the sport of golf. It's like, I hit a shot and I hit a bird. You go, that's not fair. And you go, well,
No,
that's golf. If you were the umpire, what would you do? I mean, I think I just heard you. You're going redo.
Doesn't count.
I would do a redo as well.
Yeah.
I think that might be my only threshold for redos is if you hit an animal.
Yeah.
But then, a batter crushes one to left and it hits a pigeon midair and the left fielder's like, oh shit, now I can catch it. You can't call that a home run.
Yeah, they called it a no pitch.
No pitch.
Thank you, Google. Yeah, but I mean, what else are you going to do? And that's a human would call that, but a computer, Hawkeye's got, there's no.
You just answered the question. They'll use one of their replays.
Yeah, R.I.P. bird, by the way. Most famous bird to ever enter a sports stadium. Is there a more famous bird that has ever been featured in pro sports than the one that he killed that day?
I can't think of one. I've seen a seagull pick up a golf ball on a putting green in a pro tournament.
Oh, that's funny.
That's pretty good. I can't think of anything else. I guess there was a famous snowball incident with the 49ers and Broncos, and someone was able to throw a snowball far enough that it kind of screwed up the hold, and they ended up missing the field goal, and it definitely affected the outcome. I think it was 85. It was a snowy game, Mile High Stadium. And the announcers were talking about, boy, they need to rein in this crowd. And, that's one of those things that I think can cross over into baseball when you're talking about just fanship. Is that fair at all in terms of home field advantage? Granted, it is very cheap. It's almost pathetic.
No, I hate it.
But
you can throw your words, but don't throw things. Don't throw objects.
Yeah.
Even if they're just water.
But throwing water through the air. Because I very much believe in the home field advantage.
Yes.
And I do believe that that's very cheap and it's not an okay thing to do.
Do it with sound waves, though. Use your voice. It's powerful. Fuck, man. Dude, I made Eric Gagne fucking look up at me and get angry one time. You've got the biggest boo I've ever heard in my life. You don't think people hear that?
Oh, I can't wait to deliver more at Wrigley.
Your boo can shrink testicles.
Can I unveil the greatest boo I ever delivered?
Please.
So Santa Cruz got a minor league basketball team, D-League. And so I got to go to the very first game of the D-League in Santa Cruz. Very first home game.
They call it it's the G League now.
G League, excuse me.
For
was
G's.
the D League.
Because development.
Yeah, they had to get. Yeah.
D doesn't sound good. That's not a good grade. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a D.
It's standing for development, by the way. Really.
I ain't developing shit. I'm a monster.
Now it's the G League for G's.
Yeah, so the G League.
Brought to you by Gatorade.
I meant no offense by that. And, there's a group of maybe 10 of us. A couple people have signs. We're excited.
Yeah.
Being in a new building for the first time and thinking, I wonder how this is all going to work out. So we're getting close. Game's about to start. I just remember vibes were really good. And they're about to do the tip-off. And something happens where someone's saying, oh, there's water on the floor. So they blow the whistles and the ball boys go out there with all their towels and they're just vigorously wiping it down. And the air out of the whole building just goes boom. It starts to get really quiet.
Okay.
And so I stand up and deliver a blood-curdling boo! And boy, did I feel like everyone deserved it because, man, the wind went out of the whole building.
How to incite a riot.
Because they couldn't figure out how to keep water off the court.
Yeah. Are you aware that the minute they started tracking pitches with like ABS type systems with boxes with the old versions of the software, I mean, it's better now. The minute they started tracking it, umpire accuracy went up dramatically. The human umpire got so much better with the tools.
Well,
with the accountability.
Well, here's the thing. You're not letting the umpire call the game. And I am a believer in you should call accurate, this, that, and the other. But I truly believe that umpiring is situational and it's not black and white. And a great example of that. I'm not necessarily for this, but it happened, and people need to realize this, that when Greg Maddux was pitching, he was known as being very accurate. So the umpires, in a time when pitchers, their fastball was not topping out at 86 like him, this is when you had guys like Mark McGwire that are hitting the ball 560 and bullshit like that. You got a guy like Greg Maddux that can throw an 86-mile-an-hour fastball, and he's mowing down the whole league. So umpires started to give him more credit, and they'd give him and Tom Glavine a couple extra inches off the plate. I'm not saying that's necessarily the fairest way. It's definitely not the fairest way.
Fuck that shit. No.
But it's something that keeps variation in the game.
I get that credibility gets you the call. You know, I understand that. Like, if you've got a good reputation and it's 50-50, the umpire is going to give you the benefit of the doubt, right? I understand that.
And we lived with Barry Bonds, too, where if it was an inch off the plate, all Barry would have to do is look at the ump, and they're like, oh, sorry, Barry, yeah.
Look, man, here's my point. If ABS made umpires better, we don't need to get rid of the umpires. They're super accurate now. You see what I'm saying? The tools made them better.
Tools made them better. Ooh, good argument.
Because they were able to look at it and go like
I got to watch.
How do you get better at something? You got to examine your failure. You can't just be.
Yeah, dude, this is a really good point.
You got to be like, hey, look, you got this wrong. Like, actually, you fucked up.
Yeah, like go back to the tape. That's not a strike.
Look, I'm going to read some numbers to you. This is going to blow your mind. Look, when they first started tracking this, umpires getting balls and strikes right, estimated at, this is an estimate, 82% correct.
The rule book clearly states it's up to the interpretation of the umpire what a strike is. It's not yes or no.
Of course.
It's what did the ump say?
This is according to the box.
According to the box. Thank you.
In 2008, they were at 82% according to the box.
Okay.
In 2022,
yep.
they're at 92%.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They got a lot better.
That's crazy.
According to the box.
That's pretty good, man. Like the technology did make them better.
Look, I'm looking at it from your point of view.
But now they don't have a job.
How do we keep the humanity in the game? You have to give the humans better tools.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they get replaced by Hawkeye, which
right.
honestly,
otherwise,
I don't think is ready for prime time. I really don't think it's ready. And I think they're going to push it out next year. And I think that's fucked up.
You know what else might push them that way is, you know, like you said, they really uncorked a bunch of champagne bottles after opening day.
Yeah, they did.
But if they feel like their sport is flat, any means necessary. It's all right, well, let's just pump the cable full of bullshit commercials, feed everyone. Oh, this is finally the game is cleaned up. Finally, you can appreciate baseball because now it will be perfect. And now every woman looks like Marilyn Monroe. Aren't you excited? Aren't you?
I can't wait. How did this happen? It feels like 1.5 years ago, you and I were talking about this shit like it was science fiction and it's fucking reality now.
I know.
We predicted all of this and we were joking. It was a joke and it's real now.
Yeah, it's just like way quicker than one could ever fathom.
Are we manifesting the fall of baseball? Like, is this happening?
That's a good question.
I'm questioning reality at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you should.
This is the train wreck.
Let's go to the replay.
MLB's trying to shut us down.
Dirty. They're going to keep fighting their fight. We'll fight our fight, and we'll see what happens.
Hallelujah. Okay, next time we talk, we have to talk about pitcher health because these new rules, actually, the pitcher injuries are up significantly. It's actually a big deal.
Oh.
I know. Wow. I bet if we talk about MLB's going to...
They're not going to like that.
No.
Let's stay on these bastards.
No, this is very unpopular information. The pitch clock is hurting pitchers.
No.
Next time on Mona Lisa Baseball.